Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza with the Toyota logo, aka the Toyota Urban Cruiser. But before we start going, let me share some useful information with you guys. Did you know that one major aspect that increases the on-road cost of your new car is the insurance you buy from the dealer? I would highly recommend you to get a quote for your new car from Acko Insurance on acko.com and save up to 50% because they don't charge any commission. It's completely online, very easy to purchase within a few minutes and involves zero paperwork. You can get the 3 years third party plus 1 year own damage insurance from Acko for the brand new Toyota Urban Cruiser which I'm reviewing today at a price as low as INR 16,125 plus GST. And back to the vlog, straight away we're going to be opening the engine bay of this vehicle. As you can see, the engine bay is kind of empty. Now it only comes with one engine, there's insulation right there, and of course there are changes at the front. The only change to this car is at the front. In the grill has been changed. It's very Toyota like grill to make it look kind of with the Toyota SUV family design language, and it does kind of look like a mini Fortuner from very far off when you have closed your eyes and you can't see anything. You can just leave everything to your imagination. Okay, this chrome bar actually looks nice. Headlight is the same as the Brezza. It's an all LED unit. This is the DRL. Of course, the fog lights are also LEDs. Again, this section is customized for Toyota. Gets the chrome surround as well, and you get this cladding, of course. But this is a Brezza when you come to the side. I mean, it's a Brezza from every angle because this car is nothing but the Brezza with Toyota logos everywhere. So you see on the wheels also the Toyota logo has been put. Tire size happens to be 215/60/16. You get body cladding all around as well, and you get the black finish on the outside rear view mirror, actually gloss black finish. Even on the roof, well, that kind of looks nice. In fact, I like the blue paint on this car. It looks quite good. Coming to the rear, again, everything is the same. You get LED lights, only brake lights are LEDs because the reverse lights and the indicators are not LEDs on this car, they are bulbs. But it says Urban Cruiser on this chrome. That again is something which has changed. You can see the indicator functioning right now. And this cladding has also changed. Meanwhile, that is the exhaust of the vehicle. There is the towing hook, rear parking sensors, there's a reverse parking camera here as well. Actually, there is the only reverse camera on this car. The Toyota logo actually adds to the reliability of this vehicle. So in case you want to make your Maruti car more reliable, just put some Toyota logos. The boot is decent size. Below here, obviously, you get the spare wheel, which doesn't happen to be an alloy. It happens to be 215/60/16, which is the same size as a regular wheel of the car, but it's not an alloy. And the rear seats can be split forward in 40/60 format to increase the boot carrying capacity. There's storage space on both the sides. There's a light placement here, and there is a 12-volt charging socket there. Well, that is quite useful. Let's close this, and there it shuts. Coming to the rear of the car, rather the rear seat of the car, there's actually decent amount of space on offer. It's easy to get in and out without any issue whatsoever, and there's decent amount of under thigh support, good amount of knee room and leg room, scooped out seat bag, magazine holder, but there's no storage space here. There's no rear AC vent here. There's no charging socket here. What the hell just happened? Alright, there is storage space here though. You can hang your bag or so. Meanwhile, the cabin is kind of on the black side, but you get a hook and a handle. There's good amount of headroom on offer, really good amount of headroom on offer, and seat belt gets the height adjustment function as well. There's a center armrest which gets cup holders, twin cup holders, and 2 adjustable headrests at the rear. The center passenger does not have a head probably, so he doesn't get an adjustable headrest. Well, that's about it. Okay, this is to move the parcel shelf. Quite easy to do that as well. It's wide enough, but 3 people won't be really comfortable, and this is almost flat, but still 3 people won't be comfortable. Door pockets are actually large enough, but let me tell you something, this car has a lot of features by 2016 standards, of course, but in 2021 a lot is missing, like there's no connected car tech, there are no side airbags, there's no traction control. Heck, this car doesn't even get a sunroof, something which almost every car is offering right now. This is the request sensor. You press this button to unlock the car. Well, you have to use the key if you want to open all the doors, because it only opens the driver door when you press this button. So it's kind of inconvenient if you want to open the rear door, but yeah, that's how it works. Obviously, door pockets are big enough. These are the controls for the power windows. These switches we have been seeing since donkey's years on a lot of Maruti cars as well. There's a proper dead pedal right there. These are the controls for the outside rear view mirror adjustment. This is for headlight leveler. This is the engine start stop button. The seats are actually quite comfortable, and here is where you notice what's different from the Brezza, because it gets a brown colored theme for the seats as well as the door pockets or the door pads. Meanwhile, in the Brezza it is grey colored, so yeah, big differentiation happening right there. Step inside and yeah, everything is the same here as well. Compared to the Maruti, you get twin glove boxes. There's good amount of storage space on offer. There is actually a 12-volt charging socket here, a USB along with an aux. Climate control, air conditioning is here too, which is actually quite good and effective as well. There are twin cup holders here. There's storage space here as well. In fact, below the front center armrest also there is storage space. Now here you get a mirror along with a light as well. Same is not the case here, unfortunately. You only get a toll receipt holder, but now fast tags are here, so you don't need it. There's a sunglass holder here. There are lights here on the top. Auto dimming inside rear view mirror. The steering also is very nice and very reliable because it gets a Toyota logo, of course. Cruise control function. These are for picking up a call or declining a call. These are for the audio system. It gets automatic wipers. This is actually for the automatic headlight visor. What are you talking about? These are the automatic wipers. You see, good amount of spray on offer. Obviously, it gets a rear wiper washer as well. Yeah, there's plenty of spray on offer. And this is a 7-inch Smart Studio touchscreen infotainment system which gets Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto connectivity, showing me the fuel economy, which happens to be 11.5 kilometers per liter with 310 kilometers for the distance to empty. It's a decent system without a doubt, but when you turn on the car, it actually shows you the Toyota logo. Yeah, customization of software happening there. That's also pretty cool. Okay, the horn, it's kind of meek. Meanwhile, the instrument cluster also feels a little dated, but you know what? It has a trick up its sleeve, which we'll talk about in a bit. There's a multi-information display in the center, which you can browse through like this. Gives you the range, what is the real-time fuel economy, and the bits. Meanwhile, I can press the left one and actually go to the twin trip meters of the vehicle. Now, if I actually turn this right way, I can get into the color options. There are 5 color options on offer. Obviously, my personal favorite is the blue, so I'll just keep it on that at the moment. Now, what you're going to do is we're going to put the car in reverse. So this is the reverse parking camera of the car. It doesn't get adaptive guidelines. Guidelines are there, but it's not adaptive. Let's quickly listen to an audio right away. Audio quality is actually decent, not great, but it's decent enough. Seats are actually very comfortable. Ergonomics are sorted. You sit in a higher position, so you can get a good view of what's around. The mirrors are also big enough. So yeah, ergonomically, this car is good, but kind of feels dated in terms of the design. Even quality levels are not that great. I mean, they're fine, but could have been better, especially when considering its rivals are doing a great job. Now the Brezza needs a next generation. A facelift just does not work. Okay, you've got this chrome treatment, which is quite premium. You get it here as well, which feels nice. There's a dummy button here. I don't know why there's a dummy button everywhere in most of these cars nowadays, but maybe probably so that you can put your NOS system and press that and really rock it into the sky. All right, let's do one thing. Let's use the rear wiper washer as well. There you see decent amount of spray on offer. So as I see it, this Maruti Vitara Brezza with the Toyota logo has the same features as the regular Maruti Vitara Brezza with the Suzuki logo, but it's available in 8 trims, 4 for the automatic, 4 for the manual, higher trims, which means that only people who are looking for higher trim levels of the car will opt for this, because there's no LXI here or of course the base grade, but who cares? Let's start driving right away. Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning off the air conditioning into first gear. There's no traction control to turn off. Revving the motor, rev still 5000 RPM, and listen to the wheel spin, okay? So the gearing is actually quite short here. That's the reason it takes a shift to third to reach 100 kilometers per hour, which takes 11.5 seconds. You can see the car is moving around a bit because the suspension is on the softer side, but more on that later. Let's talk about this engine, which is a 1.5 liter motor which also powers the Ciaz, the Ertiga and the Brezza facelift. Yeah, this is the same engine which is doing duty on a lot of Maruti cars, because of course the Urban Cruiser is nothing but a Maruti Vitara Brezza underneath, which is very disappointing, producing 105 horsepower and 138 Newton meters of torque at 4400 RPM. This engine has good amount of drivability, but the mid-range is absolutely flat, and that's the reason why it doesn't have the get-go in the mid-range. Especially if you're used to the diesel Brezza, you'll be like, what the F just happened? Because it doesn't have the grunt in the mid-range, it doesn't push you forward fast enough, and then it just feels lackluster in the mid-range. It is very disappointing, a mid-range in this car. But then the drivability is good because there's pep lower down, and in the top end also it feels nice and punchy. In fact, braking performance is decent enough. However, there is nosedive under heavy braking. You can feel the nosedive there. It nosedives, but yeah, it stops in its line. Now we've stalled it actually, but still we turn it on into first gear, revving the motor, and off we go. Now the good news is that the clutch is actually light and the gearbox is smooth shifting, but it's a 5-speed gearbox. Yeah, that's disappointing that it's a 5-speed gearbox, and that is the reason why, at 100 kilometers per hour, it feels quite noisy because at 3000 rpm at 100 kilometers per hour, you're in 5th gear because there's no 6th gear, obviously because of cost cutting or whatever, or this car is probably old. You can feel it, and there's a lot of road noise which filters in. There's wind noise that also filters in. On this beautiful road, you don't enjoy driving this car because the steering feels really lackluster. Steering is like ping pong, trust me on that, because at low speeds it's light, which is actually a very good thing, but at higher speeds it just doesn't offer you any feel or feedback. Look at this, it's like I don't know where I'm going. I have to be really very careful in putting steering inputs in this car because the steering just feels so freaking lackluster. This is not the kind of steering wheel I would expect from Toyota, but then this is a Maruti which I'm driving. But this is not the kind of steering wheel which I would expect from Maruti either, but then this is what it is. Anyways, changing lanes, you have to be very predictable of what you're going to do. You have to actually think twice what you're doing, because then it has roll, which you can feel the car is going left and right, and because of the soft suspension, the ride is brilliant, but because of the soft suspension, it has the vertical movement at higher speeds as well. Now, the price of this car is 11.5 lakh rupees. The range actually starts at 9.7 lakhs, goes all the way to 13.5 lakhs. All the prices, of course, are on road Mumbai. But you know what? You pay 2 lakhs extra for the automatic, which happens to be a 4-speed torque converter unit. Did I just say 4-speed in 2021? Yes, I did. That is how it is. Unfortunately, I know I have to just keep saying that is how it is, because this car just feels quite dated already. It doesn't get a slew of features, and you know what? It is just a rebadged Maruti car without any improvements whatsoever, and the Brezza has a lot of scope for improvement. Okay, I would agree that the ride quality is absolutely brilliant. The drivability is also very nice. Refinement levels are stellar, but the motor gets very vocal at high speeds, but that's fine. You can deal with that. Now, in the city, when you're driving, you would appreciate the ride quality of this car as well as the drivability, but even at higher speeds, you know, unless you're on a bad road, you won't really feel the softness of the suspension because of the soft suspension, of course. There's that bounciness and the vertical movement. Taking a U-turn, very easy because the steering is super light. Get into the gas, you have to fight with the steering wheel because of the punch on offer. It takes 11.5 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Now, I have a lot to complain about, but first let me tell you that this car does not get the mild hybrid tech, which is there in the automatic, and that's the reason probably it costs a lot more. Fuel efficiency is between 11 to 15 kilometers per liter, which can stretch by another kilometers per liter, rather 1 kilometer per liter with the automatic, of course, thanks to mild hybrid tech. So making an overtake, no problem at all. Just downshift and try to disappear, which will not happen because the car will not disappear, but it will give you good enough punch to get going ahead fast and nice and smoothly as well. But this is not a car you would enjoy driving at all. The steering wheel just feels like a joystick to me. It just doesn't inspire confidence at all. At low speeds, it's good enough. So this car is more city inclined than highway cruiser, and that's fine because they call it the urban cruiser, which means that it likes to cruise in urban environments. The fuel tank capacity of this car is 48 liters. The weight 1130 kgs. Actually, that 2 kgs is added by the Toyota logos on the front and the rear and on the wheel hubs as well. Just kidding, because if the Toyota logos are not there, there would be a Suzuki logo. That said, Toyota can do a lot better because this car doesn't get side airbags. It doesn't even get a sunroof. Would I recommend a car without a sunroof? Probably yes. Would I recommend a car without side airbags? Probably not, because it's high time Maruti Suzuki and Toyota up the game by offering all these features which the Koreans have been doing now since probably donkey's months, not years but months. That said, this is a comfortable car, and the only reason you would want to buy one is because you want a Maruti Vitara Brezza but you want it with a Toyota logo. But trust me on this, me putting an Apple logo on an Android phone doesn't make it not hang, right? Similarly, putting a Toyota badge on a Maruti car is not going to make it any more reliable. Yeah. However, the Brezza has obviously got a 4-star rating in NCAP, which is good enough. And you know what? The most interesting part about this whole thing which Toyota and Maruti is doing is, it is so that Toyota will eventually buy Maruti Suzuki. So you get used to seeing all the Maruti cars with the Toyota logo. Now, this is a speculation. Don't take me seriously. I also don't take myself seriously in that regard. Now, into 5th gear, as soon as you get into 5th gear, you are in the mid-range, and then it feels flat. So you really have to work the gearbox. Thankfully, you know, the smoothness is there. You don't really complain about it much. The tires actually offer decent grip, but you'll never come near the limit of the tires because of the roll-on offer. You will not really have the confidence to push it hard. In fact, because of the steering wheel also, you'll never push this car hard around corners as such. So drive it sedately. This car will actually make you smile. You know why? Because you're like, oh, I got a Toyota for Maruti money, because you pay around 15,000 more compared to what Maruti charges you for a Vitara Brezza. And why do you pay that 15k extra? Because of course you get the Toyota logo on this car, and that is the premium you're paying for the Toyota logo and a better warranty, because the warranty on this car is 1 lakh kilometers or 3 years, whichever is earlier. Meanwhile, Maruti would offer you a 2 years 40,000 kilometer warranty, and in that sense the Urban Cruiser makes sense. But otherwise, I don't see any reason why you want to buy a second copy. Rather get the original. Okay, this is the first copy, not the second copy. Rather just get the original, which is the Maruti Vitara Brezza, which also doesn't feel impressive in 2021 because it lacks a lot of features, and the lack of diesel is a big bummer because the Brezza was selling so well because of the diesel engine, which also gives great fuel economy and great torque rush as well, which is of course missing in the Urban Cruiser. So guys, this is my vlog of the Toyota Urban Cruiser, a car I'm not really impressed with. But then, can I stop Toyota rebadging Maruti cars? Obviously, I cannot. Hopefully, we will get some real original Toyota cars in the Indian market, and when that happens, probably I would start liking Toyota yet again, because the Glanza first made me stop liking them, and then the Urban Cruiser has just amplified that feeling. I'm sorry, but that's how it is. No matter how hard I try, the Urban Cruiser just does not impress me. But hey, that's my personal opinion. I'm sure a lot of people want a car with a Toyota logo. Well, if you're that kind, you can probably go for this Urban Cruiser. If not, there are a lot of better compact SUVs in the market right now, which do offer a lot more features and maybe not the best bang for the buck, but hey, you at least get your money's worth. Engine revs very fast, huh? Pretty fast revving an engine, and obviously short gearing. So you really have to shift up very quickly. So yeah, I like the engine, but the weight obviously bogs it down. On that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye. Take care.